Hey guys, welcome. And for this video, I am going to give you guys a recap of my 2023 journey with Rolex. Now, my journey with Rolex just started this year, so it's quite new and I'm quite excited about it because it's been a roller coaster ride, and I never thought that I would be in this position to acquire a few pieces, nor did I think that I was going to be able to meet an amazing essay. So for this video, I'm going to go ahead and disclose my journey, how I met my essay, the pieces that I've got, just a recap of all the pieces that I've got, and what my expectation for next year is. And yeah, I'm just going to share with you guys all of that. Now, if you're wondering why I'm in my car, it's because there's a lot of people in my house, and there are dogs and cats and people just talking and just so noisy. So I just took a little drive, and now I'm just in a really quiet place so I could just film this before the year ends. Today is December 31st, so I do want to get this video out before the year ends. And well, here we are. So hit that like button for the dedication. Okay, anyway, so my journey actually started this year in February, and me and hubby were just on our, in Vegas for the Super Bowl weekend. And I have always wanted to get a Rolex because it is just like a symbol of a timeless piece, and it's a symbol of, hey, I am getting somewhere in life. And I've always been kind of a watch enthusiast, but I never really looked really deeply into it. I just knew that it was something that I really, really liked. But in order to get the pieces that I want, it was just so expensive and so out of my price range. And on top of that, I was saving up for a house, and, there are priorities in life. So once I got my house and, everything was settled, I did all the fix-ups and everything, I was like, you know what? Now is the time for me to kind of enjoy the labor, to just reap what you sow, right? So me and hubby were in Vegas, which we go very, very often. It's like our second home. And we were just there for the Super Bowl weekend. And I have always looked at Rolex pieces through the window, kind of like window shopping, right? So every time I passed by a Rolex store, I would just like, put my hand and face against the window, and I would just like admire all the pieces and all the colors and all the different pieces. But I never looked deeply into it because I knew that at that specific time in my life, I was just not ready to get one. So I just never kind of looked deep into it. But starting from last year, I want to say around my birthday, around July of last year, so 2022, I started looking at Rolex pieces and just going to their website, started doing customizations of my own. And I fell in love with a pink face. And it was the date just with the pink face and with the Jubilee bracelet. And that was the piece that I wanted. But at that time, I didn't know how hard it was to acquire a Rolex. Like right after COVID, still kind of in the middle of COVID, all the luxury pieces were just so hard to get. I didn't know that there was such a thing as a wait time, right? And then once I got to Vegas, and I was like, you know what? Let me go explore the Rolex stores. So there's quite a few, right? There's not just the Rolex ADs. There are other stores like Booker and Switzerland, watches of Switzerland or whatever. And every time I walked into one, I'm like, hey, do you have any pieces? Like, no. And I'm like, okay, because it didn't click to me what was going on with the world. It didn't click to me that watches were so hard to acquire. So for me, it was just something new, right? Because you've heard of all these stories that you walk into a store and you could acquire a Rolex piece. If not, you didn't have to wait long. But after COVID, everything just kind of like went into the shits. And so then that started like my kind of like obsession, right? And so every single day when I was in Vegas, I would go into literally every single hotel. So like Caesar's Palace, The Wynn, Aria, Encore, Palazzo. Like I would go into Bellagio. I would go into every single store, and I would be like, hey, did you get any new pieces in? Did you get any new pieces in? Or do you have this specific piece that I want, which is the Date Just, in I think 36mm with the pink face, diamonds on the 6 and 9 with the Jubilee bracelet. And everybody just looked at me like, no, we don't have any pieces. And then finally, I think it was like, I want to say 2 or 3 days before I was leaving, I wanted to go to the store in Aria. And I don't remember what it was, but I think that day it was actually hailing in Vegas. And if you guys know Vegas, Vegas doesn't hail because it's basically a desert. So it was hailing that day. But I really wanted to go to Aria because it was my last stop. But it was hailing. So the tram to go from Bellagio to Aria, if you guys are familiar, that stopped. And so I went back to Caesar's Palace, where I was staying. And then about 2 hours passed, the hailing stopped, and the tram was back on. So me and hubby took the tram from Bellagio to Aria, and we went into the store in Aria, and I met this guy, and I showed him a picture of the Rolex watch that I want, and he goes, "Give me a second." Now, at this current moment, we didn't even have any introduction. I didn't even say, "Hey, my name is la la la." He did introduce himself, but we didn't really get to know each other. He just looked at me and he said, "Give me a second." And then he brought out the watch that I wanted from the back, but instead of the Jubilee bracelet, it was the oyster steel, the oyster bracelet. And I looked at it, I was like, I don't really like the oyster bracelet. But, at this point, I've been through like Vegas, every single store, all 5 days, and like every single location. I kind of know how rare it was. So I said, you know what? I will take it. So that started my journey with my essay, and I took the piece that he gave me, even though I wasn't really happy with the oyster bracelet. I really wanted the Jubilee bracelet. But after I took it home and I was looking at it and everything, I was like, you know what? I actually really like the oyster bracelet because it's more me. It's more simple. It's not so flashy. It's not very dressy. It's me. Simple, classy, and just plain. Like, I like plain things and I like simple things, and I like it and to be like a nice material, right? Like, if I could find a t-shirt that's just a plain t-shirt, solid color, but in really good material and fitted really well, I would buy multiple variations of that. And that's just me, right? So I'm going to go ahead and show you the first watch that I've ever gotten for Rolex this year in February. So it is right here. And I have all my Rolex watches at this current moment. This watch is still my favorite, even though it's just a Datejust. But it's not just a Datejust, right? Like, it's the Datejust that started my journey. So it's right here. It's in this box. And then, like all other Rolex boxes, you open it like so. And the crown is right here. And we're going to open it up. And inside is still my invoice. All right. And after I got home, I realized that my essay wrote a really cute note for me. And I'm going to just cover up my name and his name because it's just right here. So he wrote a really cute note for me, and I didn't even know about the note until I got home. But anyways, this is the box like all other, Rolex boxes. So keep in mind that I am shooting this in selfie mode. So everything is going to kind of look reversed. So if you look in the camera, the Rolex is reversed because I am shooting in selfie mode at the current moment. I am in my car after all. I don't want to see where my face is on the screen. So if we open it up like so, oop, don't fall out. This is the link that was taken out, and this is the watch. So, oop, come on. Sorry, guys. So this is the watch. It is the beautiful pink watch. Why does that burn keeps on coming up? Anyways, this is a beautiful watch. It is a Datejust in 36mm with the pink face. And it does have diamonds on the 6 and the 9. And with the oyster steel bracelet. This is basically my first ever Rolex. And I just absolutely love it because it's in this light pink color that is just so me. Like, pink is my favorite color. Pink and blue. And there are diamonds on it, which I love. And it's not like in your face diamond. It is just little diamonds on the 6 and 9, and that's it. So I know that there's a variation with diamonds all around, but I feel like that'll be a little too extra for me. So I didn't even consider that. And this is just such a simple, but it's just so beautiful. And obviously I got it with the fluted bezel. I didn't like the smooth one because it just adds a little oomph to the very plain and simple face. So this was my first ever watch from Rolex. And obviously I did pay MSRP for it. So MSRP on this watch was, let me see. I don't remember what I really paid for it. Let me see. So I bought it. Oh, I actually bought it on Valentine's Day. Okay, February 14th. Oh, okay. MSRP on it was $11,200, and with the sales tax in Vegas, I think it's just 8%. It came out to $12,138. So that was my grand total, was a little over $12,000, which honestly was what I kind of expected. I didn't expect to have any sales on it or like any discounts on it or pay below MSRP price, because at this current moment Rolexes were just so hard to get. So to even think about negotiating the price, it's just it wasn't happening. So this is the beautiful watch, and this is what started my Rolex journey. And I think no matter how many Rolex watches I get, this will always be my favorite. All right, so I'm gonna put this back, and then I will explain to you guys what happened on my next piece, which is also very, very unexpected, because I actually did not keep in touch with my SA for the longest. I just didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. So with my first purchase, I also got a travel pouch, and the travel pouch is in brown. And inside is the brown leather travel pouch. It's just very simple. It's just a pouch like this. And then this comes out, and then you put your watch in here, and then you close it up. And then you just bring this. You don't need the box, but I just keep everything in the box because, I don't know, I'm OCD like that. All right. So anyway, moving forward. So this was in February. I go home, and, you know, everything is great. Now, come June, me and hubby always goes to Vegas for quite an extensive time. I only go for 2 weeks. He goes for about 6 weeks for the WSOP. He does that for fun. But anyways, so now I'm in Vegas, and I'm craving, that's the word, I am craving for my second piece. I think it's like, it's an addiction, right? Once you start one piece, you want, now you want more pieces, right? So now I'm like, you know what? My next piece, I really want either a Submariner or a GMT. I wasn't even thinking Daytona, because Daytona was a piece that was so hard to get. I wanted Daytona. I also wanted like a Yachtmaster. And I also wanted a Sky Dweller. So I wanted like one of each piece, basically for collection, right? But anyway, so right at this point, Rolex was still such a hard to get watch. But I went back to my AD in Aria, and I actually met the same guy that sold me my first watch. And he was like, hey, welcome back. He remembered me for some reason. He goes, hey, welcome back. I was like, hey, I'm surprised that you remember me. And he goes, yeah, I kind of remember just about every single piece that I sell. And I was like, wow. Because I know that they don't sell much, but they do sell quite a bit. And I haven't seen him for the last 4 months already, a little over 4 months at this point. So he's seen many clients. So I'm actually really surprised that he remembered me. So now he's like, hey, what can I do for you? I was like, hey, yeah, I am just looking for another piece to kind of like start my collection or to add on to my collection. And he goes, yeah, no problem. He goes, shoot me a few photos of the pieces that you want. So I left the store and I just shot him, you know, and I texted him a few photos of the watches that I want. And I took a picture of each one of the GMTs. So the Pepsi, the Batman, and the and the green one with the dial on the other side. And I also shot him a picture of the Submariner. Now, I only shot him the picture of a regular Submariner, so the one with the stainless steel with the black face. And it was the Submariner date. I didn't want just the Submariner, I wanted the Submariner date. And so he goes, yeah, come back in a few days and I'll see what I can do for you. So I actually waited a whole week to go back to him. So I went back after a whole week and I was like, yeah, were you able to get any of the pieces for me? And he goes, well, I don't have any of the pieces that you want immediately, but I do have a Submariner for you. And he showed me the Submariner, like there's try-ons in the store, right? So he let me try on the Submariner with the steel and with the black face. And I tried it on and I was like, I don't like it. And he goes, you might not like it because it's a bit masculine for you. And then he let me try on the two-toned with the blue face. And let me tell you, I tried it on and I fell in love. Like, just absolutely head over heels fell in love because I love pink and blue is my second color. So I said, I'm not really a two-tone girl because the strap was two-tone. But he said, and then he said, but the blue doesn't come in just the steel unless you want like a different variation with white gold. I said, you know what? Let me try on another piece that's like all gold. So he actually had another piece. He had the blue face with the all gold. So I actually tried on that piece and I said, this is really, really heavy. And he said, yeah, the whole strap is 18 karat gold. And I said, I don't think that's for me. He said, it's really nice, but it's a really heavy piece of watch. And so I went back to the two-tone with the blue face and he said, why don't you try it on again and see if you like it? And I was like, I tried it on and I love the blue face, but I did not like the two-tone. I didn't like the two-tone at that specific moment. And I said, I'm not really sure about it. And he said, you know what? Since you're still in Vegas for the next 4 days, why don't you think about it? I'm going to hold it here for you and you go back to your hotel, do whatever you need to do, and you think about it. And before you leave, just let me know if you want it or you don't want it, and I'll hold it for you. And I said, you're going to hold it for me? He goes, yeah, I'm going to hold it for you. And I said, there's other people that want it. You're going to hold it for me, even though I'm super indecisive? He said, yeah, it's not how it works. It's not first come, first serve. That's not how it works. We have a clientele base that we nitpick through. And I said, oh, wow. Like, that actually made me feel really special. So I went back home. I took a day. I actually took 2 whole days. But I couldn't stop thinking about the blue because the blue was so gorgeous. Like, the blue was just so gorgeous. And it's my color. And it was just so gorgeous. So I went back and I said, you know what? I'm going to cave in. I don't like the two-tone bracelet, but I love the blue. I love the blue. And that's what I'm going to be looking at is I'm going to be looking at the blue face. So I'm going to go buy it. So then this is how we get to our piece number 2. So he actually sold me my second piece, which is in this box. So I think you guys, obviously I told you guys which one it was, but my second piece is the Submariner with the blue face. So same box, same Rolex. And once I open it up, oh, nothing falls out. Come on. All right. So this is my Submariner with the blue face, which I think you guys all call it the bluesy. Now, I've gotten a lot of people go like, oh, that's such an easy watch to get. It's not even a rare piece, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. It's still really hard to get a Rolex piece because I live in New York. And every time I go into a Rolex store in New York, nobody has anything. I think out of probably the dozen times I went into my nearest Rolex store, they offered one piece to me one time. And it was the presidential watch, all blinged out with all diamonds around it. I think that's what she said. She didn't even let me see it. She just said, can you make the purchase? And I'm like, I can, but that's not the watch I want. But anyways, this is the watch. So this is a Submariner Bluesy with the two-toned, and obviously it's a Submariner date. And I just love this watch. Obviously, I don't love it as much as my first one, because my first one will always be my baby, because it's the start of my journey. But this is the Submariner date in the blue face, and it is the two-tone, so you do see like the markings in gold as well. But this is an absolute stunning piece. I know the two-tone metals and like the white gold, the everything gold is not as popular as just the steel. But I'm going to be very honest with you. For me, I feel like most of the basic Rolex pieces are really masculine, and it's not for me. So I don't care if these pieces are easier to get or not, or if they don't sell as well in the aftermarket, because I'm not here for that. I'm not here for the resale. I'm not here for, you know, to make a profit. Okay. I don't know why I just did that. But anyways, I'm not here to make a profit, right? I'm not here to flip them. That's not my job. Like, my job is here to enjoy the pieces that I like and buy the pieces that I like. And I want to wear pieces that I'm going to be happy with. And if these watches make me happy, then at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And just to let you guys know, when I'm buying these pieces, there's still customers coming in. They're like, do you have anything? I'll buy anything. I'll buy any Submariner. I'll buy any Datejust. No, the answer is no. They're not gonna, the answer is no. It's still a very hard piece to get. So you might live in a place that is easier for you guys to get like Rolex watches. But in the cities that I visit, which is New York City, Vegas, and I also visited Chicago, I walk in and I'm like, do you have any pieces? No, they do, but they're only going to sell it to the clients that they know. So if you could walk into a store and just grab a piece of Rolex, good for you. But that's not the way it is everywhere. Just FYI. But anyway, so this is my second piece. And this watch was purchased on June 24th. And this watch was $15,600. And obviously with the sales tax, it came out to $16,906.50. So this was my second watch. So I purchased the first watch on Valentine's Day, February 14th. This watch was purchased on June 24th. All right. And this is my second piece. Now with my second piece, I got he ran out of travel pouches, but he said, hey, the next time you come, I definitely will have some, and I'll give you 2. So I wasn't really too worried about it. But in the meantime, he did give me a Rolex hat. Ooh, it has my dog's hair on it. But the Rolex hat is very, very simple. It just has, it's a Velcro back. It just has a Rolex symbol right here. It does say Rolex right here. And it also says Rolex on the other side. So this was just a gift with purchase. So anyways, after the June, I kind of realized that, hey, this person was going to be my SA. And so then we kept in touch. And we texted not that frequently, but we did text back and forth. I wasn't expecting to go back to Vegas for the remainder of the year, but I actually did go back because I wanted to take my mom and grandma to Vegas, because it's just somewhere that they haven't been to. And Vegas is, for the most part, free for me and hubby, because everything is kind of comped. I didn't want it to say in like that kind of way, but it was just, it's free. So it's just a little bit, we rather be, pay nothing than to pay something. It's just the way it is. So anyway, so we took mom and grandma to Vegas, and I actually texted my SA about a week before I went, and I said, hey, I'm just here to visit. I'm not here to look for anything. And actually during my visit, I did visit him, and we sat down, we chatted about his life, his marriage, the things that he's accomplished, his hobbies, because I kind of knew that this person was going to be my SA now. So I wanted to get to know more about him. And I'm sure vice versa, he would like to get to know me a little bit more, because how often do you get someone to just, travel back and forth that often to Vegas and, but live in New York? So we actually chatted up quite a bit. I actually saw him 2 days in a row, and both days we kind of like just sat there, drank some Pellegrino, or some wine, champagne, and we just chatted it up because it was kind of dead. And I just wanted to let him know that, I'm here. You're my only essay. Let's build this relationship, and let's see where the next step takes us. So fast forward, I visit him in November, and I didn't leave with any pieces, although he did ask me if I was looking for something, and I said, no, I'm just here to visit you, and I'm just here to catch up with you, and I'm just here to, get to know you, right? And I feel like that really kind of like, it's a bit different, because whenever you go into a store and you want to purchase something, you just want to purchase it. You want to be in and out. You don't really want to get to know them. So for him, this was a bit different, right? Here's a person who is actually trying to get to know me and what I like and my life. And, it's just different. Like, this person's actually trying to connect with me. And long story short, we connected amazingly. We just had, it's just like a lot of respect for each other and each other's hustle, right? So although I'm his client, now I feel like he's more than just my essay. I'm more than just his client. We're now friends. We know each other. We could go out to grab lunch and stuff like that. Like, we're just friends. But anyways, after I left in November, I really wasn't expecting anything, to go back or anything. But me and hubby did make a very last minute trip in the middle of December. So then in the middle of December, we just booked the flight last minute. We went, and the moment I landed, I think it wasn't the same day, but the second day, I actually went back and to say hello. I actually surprised him, and I said, hey, I'm back. And he was like, wow, I didn't expect you to come back. And we just, chatted, and he said, again, he asked me, were there any pieces that you're looking for, or anything like that? And I said, no, not really. You have my list, because by then he has a list of what I want. And we reviewed it, even though I wasn't looking to do that at all. I really wasn't looking to do that at all. But we still reviewed it, and he goes, yeah, this is a list you sent me. And I think as we go on in life, our decisions, what we like and all of that, it changes, right? What, like the colors that we like, what type we like. I think everything kind of changes as we get older in life. So I was looking back at like all the texts that I sent him with all the pictures, and I'm like, I actually don't like the majority of these. And he goes, oh, okay. So then we redid my list a little bit, and he goes, you know what? I'm going to try and check off one of these items on your list by the time you leave. Now, my trip was very short. My trip was just 4 days, and that's it. So the first day that I landed, I didn't see him. So I saw him the second day. And then he said, you know what? Come back the third day. So the next day I came back, and he said, I have something for you. And I said, really? And he said, yeah, I actually do. And so he seated me in the back. And at this time, it was a lot of events going on in Vegas, and a lot of people were coming in, but we were kind of like, secluded in the back. And he brings out a Daytona, and he brings out obviously the 2023 version of the Daytona in the two-tone, because I kind of knew that he was going to bring out Daytona, because he was asking me, hey, do you like the Daytona? And I was like, yeah. And he actually let me try on the regular steel one with the black face. And I said, I don't really like this one. I don't remember if it was a black or white face, but I remember that it was just all steel. So I know it comes in two variations. It either comes in the white or the black. I'm not sure which one I tried on, to be honest with you. But regardless of which one I tried on, I didn't like it. I said, this is really masculine on me. He goes, yeah, the Daytona is for racers, and the majority of the racers are male. So it's just, the most simplest form of the Daytona is with the white or black face with the regular oyster steel band. And I tried on, I was like, I'm not really feeling this. And then he showed me the one with the two-tone, and the two-tone came in the champagne or the white color. And I said, you know what? I like either one with the two-tone, because by now I had the Submariner in the two-tone, and I actually really like it. Like, it's grew on me, right? Like, at first I was like, no, I hate the two-tone, but then it grew on me. Same thing with my Datejust. I really like the Jubilee, but then I got the Oyster and I really liked it. So anyway, so now I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with the two-tone. And I didn't want it in the black face or anything like that. I want it in the white or the gold face. So I said to him, I said, white or gold, I don't care. Just either one I'm fine with. And then he went to the back and he got me my third piece. So, okay. So I think you guys know which one this is because I just did a video on it. But I'm going to show you guys anyways for, for this video. So this is my third piece for the year. Same Rolex embossed case. Same box. And it is the Daytona with the two-toned and the champagne face, or the golden face, or the gold face, however you want to call it. But this piece is just, it's absolutely beautiful. It is just an absolute beautiful face. And gold is my color. I love gold. Most of my jewelry is gold. So this piece was actually really special. And I love the black dial right here, the 3 small black dials with the gold back. I think the gold actually looks better than the white, in my opinion, because it just looks better on my wrist instead of like gold and then white and then black. It's just gold and black, basically. So I feel like this is just an absolute perfect piece. And he said, this is only the second one we've gotten in the store for the year. And I said, and he wouldn't lie to me. Honestly, he wouldn't lie to me because by now we've known each other for, almost a whole year. And he actually showed me the tag that said that this was literally the second one that they got. So I said, absolutely, I want it. And it's just, this was the last and most unexpected piece. I really thought I was going to walk out with a GMT, but he said that because this is the 2023 version, it was a bit harder to get than the GMT. So he said, just listen to me, just get this. And next year, I will 100% promise you, I will get you the GMT. No problem. And I have no doubt that next year is going to be a very fulfilling year as far as getting more pieces from him. Woo! And anyway, so this piece was, let me see how much it was. I can't quite remember. This piece was $19,500, and with the Vegas tax, it came out to $21,133.13. So that is basically my 2023 year recap with Rolex. And I do have to say that it is very hard to find an essay. It's very hard, and I'm not going to undermine it, and I'm not going to say that it was easy. All I'm going to say is that I really got blessed, right? I got blessed by this Rolex essay. It's very hard to go into a store, especially a store like Rolex, right? Like, it was always my dream to get a Rolex, but to go in there and start mingling and talking to a stranger, it's not easy. It's really not easy. It's actually really hard because you really have to put yourself out there. And for someone like me, that's not me. Like, I love people and I love interacting with people, but when I'm the customer, it's just different, right? Because I'm usually the person, I'm usually on the other side. So to have the roles flipped around, it's actually quite, what's the word for it? I don't know what the word for it right now is, but it's quite hard. And the reason why I say that is because I've been trying to find an Hermes essay for the longest time, for quite a few years now. And I've gone into so many stores and I have yet to be successful in finding someone that I can connect with and link with and just build a connection with, right? So at this current moment, I'm still without an essay at Hermes, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop trying. I'm just going to keep on trying. But it's not easy. It's very scary. It's very scary, and it's very, for me personally, it's not the most comfortable situation that I want to be in. But I was blessed. Like, there's a reason why it was hailing that day, and Vegas never really hails. There's a reason why I didn't get on the tram, like the previous tram. I feel like everything happens for a reason. I was meant to meet him. And now it's just like a beautiful kind of like journey. And I can't be happier. I think you just need to put yourself out there. And if you're really looking to get specific pieces, then definitely don't stop trying. Like, if one essay fails, there's always multiple ones, because I have gone into multiple Rolex stores and everybody there is so nice. But being nice doesn't mean there's a connection, right? So I really, really, really got lucky. And I think the higher being is saying that, okay, you've had enough shitty experiences before with Hermes and all that, so now I'm going to bless you with an easy one. But yeah, so that's what happened. And also to recap, when I went in June, I also met my automobile essay, and it was also like a blessing in disguise, because I went in there and I met the person that kind of like greets and takes care of everything and the schedule and everything. And she actually introduced me to a guy, and we were just able to hit it off right there and then, because we're kind of like around the same age. We kind of like the same thing. We kind of like to shit talk about the same thing. And so it was just really relaxing, and it's really fun. And he tells me about all his relationships, and I think at the end of the day, they just want someone to be able to connect with as well and listen to them. And just not about all business and sales. Like, they're human beings too. So I feel like at the end of the day, like, it's just nice to be able to be human and not just always play your role as a salesperson. Wow, my car just turned off. But anyways, I hope this video can kind of give you a little guidance or a little insight on how I met my essay and how I was blessed with my essay. And maybe it will encourage you guys to do the same and start your Rolex journey. Now, keep in mind that you don't have to always get the pieces that you feel like are going to make you the most money, because at the end of the day, you are going to be wearing these pieces every single day, and you're going to have to, or so often, and you're going to have to look at these pieces. And if you're not happy with these pieces, then what is the point of buying them? See, I didn't buy just the pieces that I can resell for the most value. I bought the pieces that I know that I'm going to love every time I look at it, and I'm not going to regret my purchase, because I'm not reselling these watches. Maybe one day when I really fall on hard times, I might have to, but I'm going to try my best not for that day to come. But I made these decisions based solely on not what the resale market is, but on what I like. And I can give less two shits if these pieces are easier to get, or if they're not going to flip for more money. Like, it's not what I'm going for. I'm going for what represents me and what I like and what looks good on my wrist. All right, guys, sorry. So I did forget something. So obviously with each purchase, I do get a travel pouch. For the Submariner and the Daytona, I did get a travel pouch. Now this time it is in green, and the travel pouch is green. I think they're trying to match with the color of Rolex, which is a green color, right? So the pouch is the same thing. It just changed to green, and it's the same pouch. So I have two of these now. Now for the third time when I did purchase the Daytona, he also gave me a gift as well. So I did tell him that he owes me a gift, because he didn't give me a gift for the first purchase. But for the third purchase, he gave me a gift, and it's an umbrella. So I did have the option to choose between a golfing umbrella, like those really, really, really big ones, or a regular automatic umbrella. And I chose a regular automatic umbrella because it was just easier for me to take it onto the plane, because all I had was a carry-on. I didn't have a checked-in bag. So for the umbrella, it's just a regular gray umbrella. It is an automatic umbrella. Right here, if you can see it right here, an automatic umbrella, the up and down. And then for the Rolex, it just says Rolex right here and another Rolex on this side. So basically, he has given me 2 gifts, 3 travel pouches and 3 watches. So I think the next gift that I get when I purchase my 4th watch, I think I'm going to go for the pen. Or I might just, I don't know, get the golf umbrella because it's actually really cool and it's actually really, really big. But I also don't want to use the umbrella and potentially get robbed, but whatever. But anyways, so scratch that last part. I mean, I do live in New York, so be a little cautious. But anyways, maybe I'll go for the pen and I'll see what other goodies they have. But definitely stay tuned and I will share more pieces with you in the upcoming year. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have a really amazing New Year's Eve and amazing 2024. And I hope you will come back and watch more of my videos because obviously I'm going to be getting more pieces next year. And so subscribe if you want to, or hopefully I'll pop up on your feed again. But anyways, I will see you guys next year. Mwah. Bye guys.